Welcome back to Season 8 of the Whole Horse Podcast. I'm your host, Alexa Linton, coming to you from Vancouver Island, Canada. Thank you all for your support and listening over the last 7 years and for your willingness to think outside the box about all things horses. This season, we'll continue to push the edges of our understanding of horses and what keeps them their healthiest and happiest with the help of some very special guests, including some of my most important personal mentors. So happy to have you back and along for the ride. Let's get started. Hey y'all, I wanted to come to you for the podcast and share in my own words, in my own perspective, the process of finding and landing on our farm, our land here in the Cowichan Valley, unceded territory of the Coetzain people, and what that process looked like, felt like, went like. I'm actually sitting out in my horse paddock, leaning against the barn, looking out over the trees and the forest and listening to the birds, which you may be able to hear here. And you can just hear Riley barking and Raven just drinking next to me. And I'm taking a moment here to settle and connect with all of you. And I've been so grateful to have you along on this journey and supporting and sharing my posts and just being general cheerleaders as we've moved through this really huge process. And I know that some of you have been through a process similar to this, and that you have a sense of, it's big. It's big to move in general, and it's really big to do so in such a short time. And it was 6 weeks between listing our home and putting in an offer on this place and our move date. So it was a lot, and I've done incredibly well considering. I had a couple of little blips health-wise, which was really understandable given the circumstances and the intensity of what we moved through. But I'm feeling really well, and I've been back to practicing and starting back to some of my horse work. And we're also inviting another horse onto the farm. By the time this podcast comes out, he will have arrived. And I'm very, very excited to have him here with us. And I feel like it's going to be a great balance for the herd. And it also means that I have a horse that I can go on adventures with, as well as Gwynna, but someone I might be able to do some riding work with, which is very exciting. So I want to take us back to a ways back here, and pardon my memory, it's still recovering. Maybe we'll never fully recover, but my times and dates and things like that are not always the best. But I started to have a feeling, and when I have a feeling, I pay attention. I notice, okay, what's this about? So I started to have a feeling that we needed to start looking at property. And I had a feeling that this was the time, and that there was not an urgency, but a sense of, we gotta move forward with this in different ways. And this started to come probably almost a year ago, this feeling. And I started to chat with my friend Laura Lee, who's a real estate agent, and shared with her what was going on. We started to look at properties. We started to make repairs on our home, and just set the ball rolling slowly, slowly, slowly. At about this time, we ended up moving the horses from the spot we were in Chemainus last summer into the new space in a spot called Glenora, and then introducing Gwenna to the herd late June. And that was a really pivotal moment as well. I feel like adding her little but big, huge personality to the herd was really important. And it felt even more important at that point to find us a forever home. Because boarding 3 horses out is not sustainable, as you can imagine. And so as that started to take place, these little shifts and changes, these little preparations, I also had to do my own personal work to prepare my body, my mind for what was coming, because it was going to be a huge stretch for me in that moment to make that much transition and that much change. Thanks, Riley and Raven are playing. And so I just began to do important courses to me. I did an osteopathy series called Endocranial Spasms, which is deep brain work. I did the level 2 and level 3 of that course in Montreal, level 2 in September, level 3 in January. And I started to essentially do the work to prepare my body for what was coming and increase my stamina, increase my mental capacity and my ability to be with stress, which had up until that point, especially after my health event, been challenged. And that was a process in and of itself. As I say, the first course was in September, but I was preparing before that. And also preparing our relationship, mine and Patrick's, for such a big ask. This is huge to ask this of a relationship, this kind of stress and pressure and change, and also preparing our other animals and our horses for what was coming. Diva and I we will have been together for 22 years in November. And for most of that relationship, I've been promising her a spot to land, not only for her to live here, but also to die. And I know that sounds so morbid, and hopefully we have many, many more years to come. But it's always felt very important to her and to me to have a place to lay her to rest when the time comes. She's been such a critical relationship in my life, and so pivotal. This podcast would not exist without Diva. I might not even exist without Diva. And so to honor her with her last wishes felt very, very important. And so every property I would see, or we would see, I would ask the girls, what do you think? What do you think? Is this the spot? And just, there was a couple that were like, yeah, maybe. And there were a few that came along that prepared us more. One that was a property that I had loved for, 15 years. And it was dangling there like a fishing rod, just tempting me. The price had gone way down, and it had been sitting on the market for a bunch of months, and it got our butts in gear. We ended up at that point getting our ducks in a row with our mortgage broker, Angela Ray, and we started to really move forward on, okay, what do we need to do to make a decent offer on something? And we started to ask those bigger questions, put those wheels in motion. And then a week later, that property got a no subjects offer and was sold. And we were very sad. Went back to the drawing board and started the process again, but from a different space. And each time that happened, it pushed us a little further forward, until after my January course in Montreal, I came home, and 2 days later, we put in an offer here. At that point, we had our ducks lined up, thank God. And everything just worked. So we knew the people that owned this property. I'd been here several times before, but hadn't looked at it through that lens. And when we came again, I remember that Patrick and we didn't want to get too excited. So I just asked him as we were walking on the trail behind the house, so if you liked it, just give me a thumbs up. If you think this is the one, give me a thumbs up. And that was all we said to each other really about it until we could put in the offer and really make it real. And even then, it was like there were so many things that needed to line up and happen for it to be real. We had to sell our house in a matter of weeks. Those buyers needed to come in at a certain price to be able to finance. We needed to, have so many things in place for this to occur. So many people that needed to step in and support us, and including my family and Patrick's family. And we're so grateful. And all of it came with this intuition that I had that was basically do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes. And so that's what we did. We just said yes. We did what it took. We jumped the hoops. we did all the things. And a couple of weeks before we landed here, we came here and we sat just outside the property line. And we just did a ceremony for the land. We brought a crystal and I brought a muffin and did an offering and just shared our intention for this land, which is to bring, for me, it's to bring life. My intention here is to bring life in every way and to allow emergence, to allow what wants to come through from the land, from the horses, from us to emerge and be shown to us, and to also behave as guests on this land, because we are. This is, yes, we quote unquote own this land-ish. The bank owns this land. And we don't own this land. We're stewards of this land. We're guests of this land and this space and place. But in every action, I try to remember that in order to belong, we have to remember that we're guests first. We have to wait for the invitation to make change or shifts or do. When we come from a perspective of extraction or wanting something or getting something, it's really different. The energy is super different from that place. And so that's where I'm trying to approach our relationship here from. And my friend Tad Hargrave wrote a really great piece on his Substack recently about belonging. And I encourage you to go and read it. It was really powerful. It is really powerful. And it really got me thinking about our connection and relationship to land, and how so often in settler colonial mindset, we get it so wrong. And we come in as tourists and we don't come in as guests. So that's something that we're really thinking about here. And so in that ceremony 2 weeks before before moving here, before we even knew if it was sure, we shared that vision with the land and what we want to bring through here. And the life we want to bring, both in people and animals, but also plants and bees and birds and, all the things, insects, all the things here, to make it more vibrant, more thriving for all. And since we arrived 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that, we arrived with our moving trucks and, slowly but surely got settled in here, which was surreal, let me tell you. It's still surreal. We have been working to bring that to the forefront. And we've seen a barred owl sitting on the fence, and we have so many hummingbirds, and we have swallows building their nests, and ravens in the trees, and it's just amazing. I looked out last night in the middle of the night to see Gwynna sleeping under the full moon with the girls standing by and holding vigil for her. And yeah, it's unreal. It's very wild to be here. And I hope that I never, ever take it for granted. And that it always feels a little like, whoa. And I'm really amazed to get to wake up here every single day with my crew, hearing the birds, being on this land, tending this land. So yeah, we came up with a farm name, I think, and it makes a lot of sense given the last couple days. It's Raven Moon Farm. So let me know what you think of that. I really like it. And I think that it's bringing the right vibes, especially with our dear raven here, and all the ravens that are here, and the way that the moon rises right above the land and just crosses right over. It's just incredible. And the deep work we want to do here. My hope is to have retreats here upcoming for next summer, and start that process of bringing people here to experience, all the goodness that is this space and place. And open it up to all of you, and also for it to be a demonstration site for horsekeeping as we move forward, to be able to incorporate the land tending and the plant growing and the permaculture and how to support our forest and all those things. So that's the vision that we have here, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I feel it. Gwynna's just here holding space for me, which is just amazing. She's so cool. Gwynna, you're so cool. And she can tell that we're chatting about her and this. And I think she's quite content to be here right now. So I hope you all get to meet her someday. And that's a little story of our landing here and being here. And I will send and share more pictures and more updates as we move along. And I will share a little bit more about our horse who's going to be boarding here as well, because he is so darn cute. I can't even deal. And I will talk with you all soon. Thanks for listening today. And it's weird not having someone else on here and just talking to myself, but it's doable. I only did 20 minutes, and that works for me. Okay, everyone, have a gorgeous day. Bye for now. As always, thanks for listening to the podcast. It's so great to have you here. And I hope that this season has proved to be rich with knowledge and interesting things and people. And I wanted to just check in and see if you've checked out Outside the Box Equine yet. This is where all of my horse stuff is now hosted. That includes all of my online courses, including kinetic communication, redefining equine, and my Build a Horse Track System course. It also includes Nicole Jory's Hoof Care Foundations course, which has gotten rave reviews for anybody who is interested in building their skill set. And when it comes to hoof care, this is the course for you. So head on over to outsidetheboxequine.com and check it out.